Good morning, Villa fans, and welcome to a match preview for Thursday's Europa League game week 2. Villa travel to Kuip to play Feyenoord, a very historic stadium for Aston Villa. Obviously, 1982, it's the venue where we won the European Cup against Bayern Munich. 1982, the year that I was born. So I don't have many memories of it, except watching the clips back and things like that. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting and tough game against Feyenoord, Dutch opposition. And we've got Dutch opposition again against Go Ahead Eagles coming up as well. So back-to-back trips to Holland for us. But yeah, let's have a close look at Feyenoord. I'm hoping to give you some information that you might not already know about them. And as I always like to start off these European sort of previews, can you name 5 players that have played for Aston Villa and played for Feyenoord? There are 5 players, and I'll reveal the answers at the end of this preview as well. But just something to get your brain working as you're listening. 5 players who have played for both teams. Have a little think, put your answers in the comments, and I'll reveal all at the end, basically. So quick look at Feyenoord from this season. Currently sitting in first position, top of the league of the Eredivisie, 7 games into the season. 15 goals scored, 4 goals conceded. They've got the best defence in the opening 7 games. Last season, they finished third. They were 11 points behind eventual winners PSV. So, hoping to go one better this season. But there's been a lot of transfer activity at Feyenoord. They've let go of a lot of key players, which I'll come on to as well. And they've been busy in the transfer market and spending some of the money that they've recruited there to strengthen the team and hopefully not sort of weaken them too much from the outgoings that they've had. But last 5 games for Feyenoord. So most recently a 1-0 win away against Groningen, where Ueda scored the goal for them. Ayush Guida, who's a Japanese striker. I'll come on to him in a moment. Then they lost their opening Europa League game 1-0 to Braga in Portugal. So not a great result for them there to open the campaign. Then they had a 3-3 draw with AZ Alkmaar, a team that we've come across in the recent past. They had Sam Stein scored. They had Boss score from fullback and Haj Musa. And I'll come on to these sort of players and who the danger players are for Feyenoord as well. Previous to that, a 2-0 win against Fortuna, where Gayuda scored again. And then a 1-0 win against Herenveen, where Haj Musa scored as well. So top scorers this season so far. So as I mentioned, Japanese striker Ayush Ueda. I think I'm saying that right. Ayush Ueda. 6 goals so far this season. Only managed 9 goals last season from 31 appearances. So having a bit more of a fruitful season already with 6 goals already to his name this season. So 6 goals in about sort of 10 appearances, including all these sort of Europa League and other sort of competitions. Enes Haj Musa, an interesting player, 3 goals for them this season already. Plays from the right wing. He's an Algerian international. They picked him up from the 2nd division of Belgium only sort of last year, I think it was, or maybe year before. But he's had to work his way up the leagues, and now he's getting his chance and seems to be taking his chance at Feyenoord. So 3 goals for him. And then you've got their danger man from midfield, a guy called Sam Stein, who's got 3 goals this season. He's a £10 million signing from FC Twente in the summer, where last season he bagged 24 goals from midfield in the Eredivisie. I think it's 24 goals in about 32 appearances. Amazing stat there for a midfield player. He's not a striker. So he's going to be someone who, likes to get forward, likes to have a shot, and will join and go beyond the strikers. And I'm sure that if he plays, which he's likely to play on Thursday, he's going to be someone that we need to watch his runs off the ball, because 24 goals from midfield, no matter what league you're playing in, that's an impressive stat. So he's going to be a danger man for them. So the other players I mentioned, Ayush Ueda is obviously going to be a danger player for them as well. Japanese striker, 27 years of age. They picked him up from Cercle Bruges. They do a lot of business in the Belgian division. They tend to pick up some real gems from there. And he's been one who joined them a couple of years ago. And now he's really sort of getting his chance in the first team with the outgoings that they've had recently. Haj Musa, as I just mentioned, will be a good player for them. Sam Steen will be a danger player. And they've also got the twin brother of Jurien Timber, the Arsenal defender. I think his name is Quinton Timber, who's really sort of, he's poised for a big move, let's say that. Hopefully by the end of this season, I can see him maybe sort of ending up in the Premier League as well, joining his brother here. So he's someone who's getting into the Dutch team on a more frequent basis now as well. He's a defensive midfield player, but he's a tough tackling player, and he can play with the ball as well and get forward. So he will be a danger player for them. So that's the four that I've highlighted. Ueda, the striker, Haj Musa, the right winger, Sam Steen, attacking midfield player, and Quinton Timber, a CDM, basically, who does like to break forward. So as I mentioned, transfer business has been very, very busy. So if we look at their sort of incoming players, at Sam Steen, 10 million from 20. They've bought in the likes of Goncalo Borges, 10 million from FC Porto, who's made a couple of appearances. Wantambe, 8 million from Ghent, another, I think he's from Japan as well. So again, they've raided the Belgian league for him. They went to Sheffield United and bought the Bosnian defender Ahmed Hodzic for 7 million from Sheffield United. Luca Valente in from Groningen for 6.5 million. And they've also bought in a Danish striker called Tenstad from Benfica, 6 million. But he's in and out of the team at the moment. So, they tend to do this a lot. Feyenoord is they buy players from all over the world. I mean, they've got players from Brazil, Mexico, Japan. Their scouting network seems to be very, very vast. And it seems to be all over the show. But the outgoings for them, and where they make their money, and this is how they operate, like a lot of Dutch teams do. PSV and Ajax are the same, where they'll buy players in, they'll build them up, give them a platform, do well, and then just sell them on for massive profits. And Igor Paxao was their star player last season. He's now moved on to Marseille for 30 million. They also had David Hanko, who was a really solid, I think he's Czech Republic defender. He's gone now to join Atletico Madrid for 26 million. He had a failed move to Saudi, and Atletico Madrid swooped at the last minute to take him off their hands. Milambo, who's now playing for Brentford in the Premier League, he was sold for 20 million. And also Burnley picked up their left back, a guy called Hartman, for 10 million. So they very much provide a platform for players to go on, express themselves, and try to get into bigger and better teams. And obviously, look then just to promote youngsters, and that's what they do. They had Santiago Jimenez as well, who went to AC Milan, the Mexican striker, for 32 million. And he had an impressive scoring rate at Feyenoord as well. So, they've lost a lot of their attacking players. Paxao, Jimenez, Milembo from last season, but they've replaced them either with players that was already there and ready to make the step up, or they've gone into the market and bought the likes of Sam Steen for 10 million, and trying to bring players through. So they're an interesting team. They largely play a 4-3-3 formation. It's obviously Robin van Persie as their manager, solid enough, and they'll play with sort of 2 CDMs. I imagine in this game they will probably go a little bit more, I wouldn't say defensive, but they'll be a bit more cautious to start with. I'm not sure it's going to be a flying out of the blocks like they probably do in the other Eredivisie games where they can go and steamroll teams. I think they've got to be a bit more calculated in their approach against Villa, especially with Villa coming into it on the back of 2 back-to-back wins against Bologna and Fulham. So it will be an interesting stat. They've got youngsters they can put in on the bench as well. They've got, I think, Jadon Soler, who's a good up-and-coming player, highly rated. Slitty as well, 2 guys from their youth academy that have come up. So there are players there that will definitely be worrying us. And defensively, they've got experience at the back as well. So it'll be a very interesting game to see what happens here. But I'm very much looking forward to seeing the likes of Haj Musa, who's a player who has stepped up from the lower league, this Sam Steen as well, and this Quinton Timber. We need to make sure that we are going into this game solid Obviously we've had a couple of injuries. There's been no press conference just yet, but I would imagine Villa-wise, what we're going to go with is it wouldn't surprise me if we saw a few of the Dutch players coming in for this. I wouldn't be surprised if Bizot got the nod in this one, because playing so well against Bologna in the opening games of the Europa League, and we see Martinez, from the bench perhaps. Right back, Matty Cash seems to pick himself at the moment. Garcia wasn't even on the bench, so I think Matty Cash will start right back. Right centre back is Konsa. There's no one else. Mings obviously coming off against Fulham, so Pau Torres is likely to come in here, which I would have gone with anyway, because I think Pau Torres gives us that platform to start off our attacks, and I think he's best for that. Left back, Digne did well, but I think it might be a game for Ian Maatsen to come in, the Dutchman against the Dutch. So I very much want to see Ian Maatsen playing from the left. And then in front of that, we've got John McGinn, who's definitely going to play in that double pivot. Hopefully he came off it after 70 minutes against Fulham, but hopefully that was just precautionary and giving him a bit of a rest if there was any knock there. So hopefully McGinn is fit and firing to come back into the team. I mean, Lamar Bogard didn't do anything much wrong, but I think we're going to go for experience here, and we'll probably go with Kamara and McGinn in that double pivot. For me, that's what I would want to see. And then ahead of that, obviously Buendia playing his way into the team by the looks of things, and the way that Emery seems to have tweaked the formation with 2 10s and one right midfielder with nobody playing on the left really, we'll probably see similar here again. Sancho apparently was ill. Even though he was named on the bench, he wasn't really available to come on against Fulham. So whether he's made a recovery from his illness, I'm not too sure. Obviously, Harvey Elliott only getting half a game, which was a bit disappointing for him. Does he want another chance here against Feyenoord? I think it's going to be Buendia, Rodgers, and we're probably going to see possibly Guessand again, because I think Guessand is learning that position, and defensively he seems to be offering a lot more to Matty Cash going back. So I think we'll probably see the same as what we finished with. So Guessand, Buendia and Rodgers as the 3 behind Ollie Watkins. And then that obviously leaves Sancho and Elliott on the bench. You've got Bogard on the bench. You'll have Malen on the bench as well. And, Malen will definitely be someone who wants to come on and make be the game changer here, perhaps late in the game, maybe. So I think that's going to be where we're going to see the game won and lost, maybe sort of later on in the game, and how the subs can affect it. Maybe Sancho coming on, maybe an Elliott coming on and proving to be a game changer like Emi Buendia did at half-time. But I think we'll go strong. I think we'll go pretty much with the team that finished the game against Fulham, except Maatsen at left back, and maybe Bizot in goal. But that's what I think. But guys, let me know your thoughts. What do you want to see for this game? Are we going full throttle? Are we going to give the likes of Daniel Malen a start here? Are we resting Ollie Watkins perhaps? Like going similar to what we did against Bologna? What do you want to see in the lineup? It will be quite a tough game, is what I would say. And I would be happy with a point here. And I've got a feeling that we might just get a point. I think this is going to be a 1-1 draw in Feyenoord on Thursday at the Kuip. I'm going to go with a Morgan Rodgers goal. I don't know why. I'm going to keep saying it until he scores, because I want him to get out of the rut. I want him to get back the confidence that we've seen and become the player that he has been before. So, guys, do like and subscribe. I'm going to leave it there. With the 5 players who have played for both teams, if you haven't put them down in the comments already or haven't thought about it as you've been listening to this, 5 players. So the first one is Lamar Bogard. Bit of a controversial one because he didn't actually make an appearance for Feyenoord. We got him as a 16-year-old in 2020. But he came from the Feyenoord Academy. So you can have Lamar Bogard as one. Ron Vlaar, Concrete Ron, obviously made quite a few appearances for Villa, captained the side. He came from Feyenoord. He was a big fan's favourite at Feyenoord as well. So that's number 2. Number 3, George Boateng, the CDM we had. Obviously, we signed him from Coventry, but he came through from Feyenoord. He only played, I think, 2 seasons at Feyenoord and barely got a look in. But at Villa, he was quite important to us and a good player for us. And I think he's still involved. Is he involved in the academy somewhere now? I'm not too sure if he's still with us or not. I know that he was. There's George Boateng, number 3. Number 4, Kareem El Mohammed El Hamadi. El Hamadi, not El Mohammadi, but El Hamadi. Player that we got from Feyenoord, I think, during the was this the Remy Gard kind of era? Was it Remy Gard, that sort of era? Didn't do too much, to be fair, in the Premier League. Was part of that squad that went down in the end. I remember him scoring one really good goal. I think it was against Man City. Can't remember. I think it was against City. But El Mohammadi is number 4, and then number 5 is Zeppy Redmond, who we've recently just signed from Feyenoord. Only made sort of 9 first-team appearances for them, scoring 2 goals. We've snapped him up. He's since now on loan to Huddersfield, and has scored for them as well. And he's someone that we're, going to be hopefully, seeing the best of in years to come. But Zeppy Redmond is number 5 for you on that list. If there's anyone I've forgotten, do let me know. But these are the only players that I could find from a little bit of research on the internet. So if there is anyone that is missing from that list, do let me know. And guys, it's going to be an amazing occasion. Lots of nostalgia in terms of the trip back to the Kuip. I'm sure there'll be lots of reruns of what happened in '82 and all that sort of stuff. But it looks like a magnificent stadium. There it is there on the screen. And let me know your score predictions. But as I said, do subscribe. Want to get the subscriber numbers up. Want to smash through 500 as soon as possible. We're almost there. So if you made it this far in the video, like, subscribe, pass it on to the Villa fan base. All right. Until then, guys, take care. Enjoy your working day. And I'll be back at you with an instant match reaction after the game on Thursday. Bye for now.